And we welcome you into Norcross High School, the House of Blue. The 2020 Peachtree Corners Invitational continues. It is game number 3 of the day. Joel Hillsman, Dave Dickerson, and Raheem Bridgeforth. Glad that you're with us in our SUV TV perch seats. It is the Grayson Rams coming in at 21-1, taking on the Ramsay Rams out of Alabama at 19-6. I'll go ahead and introduce the starting lineups for the contest, and then we'll get into our pregame analysts. First, for the visiting Ramsay, Alabama Rams, it'll be number 1, Calvin Burns Jr., a junior, 6 feet. Number 2, Keyshawn Johnson, a senior, 6'1". Number 3, Keyshawn Murphy, a junior, 6'9". Number 5, Cameron Ivory, a junior, 6'2". And number 10, KJ Jackson, Jr., a senior, 6'1". Burns, Johnson, Murphy, Ivory, and Jackson for Ramsay. For the Grayson Rams, it'll be number 2, Caleb Murphy, a senior, 6'4". Number 3, Josh Smith, a senior, 6'4". Number 4, Ian Shefflin, a junior, 6'7". Number 5, Devion Smith, a senior, 6'2". And number 22, Tenari Lane, a senior, 6'5". Murphy, Smith, Shefflin, Smith, and Lane. Dave, Grayson is trending up very much. What do you expect to see in this contest, as this is their last out-of-state contest of the season?
Well, Caleb Murphy again. Been super impressed with him this year. Got a chance to just see them again last week when they came up to Northern Virginia. But seeing him earlier, he providing just a real problem for people like Sharif Cooper when they battled here in this gym, just maybe a month ago. Love what he does. Looking also for big game from Devion Smith. I don't know how they're going to come out here against Ramsay to start off with, but look for this to be a Grayson day.
Raheem, what are you expecting in this contest between Grayson and Ramsay?
Well, a lot of people would look at this matchup and kind of feel like Ramsay is overmatched, but they have a guy in Calvin Burns Jr. that's putting up 24 points a game. And this guy can come out here and maybe hit a couple of clutch baskets, and you never know what can happen in this game. But I'm going to have to side with Grayson also because I'm really intrigued by Caleb Murphy myself. But I feel like the X factor to me is Ian Schleffen. This is a guy who really, attacks the glass hard. Doesn't really look like he can jump as high as he does, but when he does, he really explodes to the basket. So I like his game a lot. I like, the other guys in Tenari Lane and Devion Smith, and I'm really just looking forward to a battle. I hope it's like the first game that we had here today.
Well, I'm taking a look at the uniforms. I can't help it. I'm going to get my Nito too much prep out of the way. Ramsay are the Rams. Grayson are the Rams. And Grayson is 1-1 against Rams this year because they have the Newton Rams in their region in Georgia. Ramsay coming in as Alabama's 5A number 1 team at 19-6. I'll dive into their schedule and their season as we go. Denton Johnson, the head coach, he's in his 4th year. And Joffrey Pierce, the head coach of Grayson, he's in his 8th year. Ramsay in the blue, Grayson in the white. Grayson wins the tip. They move it left to right as you view it on SUV TV. Devion Smith comes across the timeline right there on the Norcross Blue Devil logo. Over to Tenari Lane. Back to Smith. Spins it to the corner to Josh Smith. One thing you want to keep notice of, especially for this Ramsay bunch, this is their 4th game this week. They played Monday, they played Tuesday, they played last night Friday, and then they bust on over this morning for game number 4 of the week. 3 at the horn, no good. Rebound is Lane underneath, jumper good. Tenari Lane, the first field goal, and I need to also be remiss if I would not say we are playing with the 30-second shot clock.
Yeah, big difference. While they've done it a couple times this year, this is not a regular thing for both teams.
Rebound coming off to Caleb Murphy off of the miss from Keyshawn Murphy. Watch Keyshawn Murphy today as well. Missed 4 games with an ankle injury, returned last week. There's a elbow jumper, no good. Smith gets the board. In his return, he had 25 points and 8 boards against Hartzell. But after missing 4 games, holds an offer from the Crimson Tide. Shefflin inside, it's no good. And the rebound comes off to Johnson.
You know, in the beginning, both teams are attacking the basket, kind of coming off screens and getting those wide open jump shots. You'd like to see them to continue to do that.
Contested at the rim. Smith comes away with it. Josh Smith over to Devion Smith. To Shefflin. Shefflin kicks it out to Murphy. Murphy goes baseline and now kicks it to the top. Set fire. A three from Smith. Hill of the rim, top of the backboard. No. Good board brought down by Murphy. Pull up, quick three. Johnson, hill of the rim, no good. Lane gets the board. Both teams somewhat cold. Ramsay trying to find their footing. Alley, no oop, and a turnover.
And to your point, Raheem, you know, Ramsay came out and tried to do sort of a little matchup zone, and you can see that that's really kind of broken down already. They have not stayed. It's not a hard zone. It's just sort of a little area zone, trying to feel out what Grayson is going to do offensively.
Yeah. On the drive is Burns, and he scores. Calvin Burns Jr., his first field goal. We're even at 2.
Great move by Calvin, broke the defense down.
Yeah, he's a guy who scores, you know, in spurts. Really gets a lot of buckets. I see one game he put up 35 points this year, and that's impressive for a high school kid.
Coming in off of a 12-point effort against Hartselle last week. They are 19-6, riding a 9-game winning streak. Another rebound from Murphy at 6'9". And Murphy, as you mentioned in the open, Raheem, he will step out and show the range from time to time. 5:20 and a moving clock, first quarter. Ramsay in possession. We're even at 2. Here's Johnson. Johnson will drive baseline and flip up the reverse. Is short, and Devion Smith comes away with the board, pushing it in the middle in transition. Smith over to Murphy. Murphy hesitates, now gets below the foul line. Devion is short, no good. Rebound volleyballed around and comes off to Murphy. His third board in the early moments. Inside to the corner. And they'll work it back around to Burns. Burns will set it up. Now a zone defense from Grayson. Almost matchup. 3 is no good. Board by Josh Smith. So both teams are extremely cold. The gym abnormally cold as well inside of the House of Blue.
Yeah, and I was going to point out that Grayson seems to be kind of going half speed at this juncture. They're not really pushing the ball. I don't know if it's if they're tired or flat.
3 out of the corner by KJ Jackson. And they have a 5-2 lead. Well, they played a very tough region opponent last night in Shiloh and won the ball game 68-67, but trailed by 10 with 4 minutes to go. So who knows what the legs have in them. Long 3, Murphy, no good. May have to find some energy. Foul called on the floor on Ramsay.
Yeah, Shiloh very formidable this year. Great squad. Coach Kim doing a great job over there.
They are 20-2 on the year, and both losses have came to Grayson, and there's a high probability they will see them again in the region tournament. So we'll see who gets the best of them there, but Grayson dug deep and won, and Grayson, of course, number 5 nationally. Here is Smith to Cortman. Keonis Cortman, a 3, no good. That may be where Coach Pierce finds something off of the bench. Floater from Devion Smith.
And that might be the basket that they need to kind of get them going.
We talk about it all the time, Dave and Raheem, energy. There's no energy right now for Grayson. They may have to find it from off the bench. Tajay Kelly is in as well. Cortman open, left corner 3. It caroms off, no, but board by Kelly. So Smith fires a 3. It's no good. Rebound is tipped and comes off to Jackson. But the rebound is credited to Ivory. And the score from Keyshawn Murphy, his first field goal.
And that was a great no-look pass. He looked to the right, then looked to the left, made the defender kind of feel like he was going to give it to Burns, and he passed it over to the left, to the right.
Smith gets the screen from Kelly. Kelly catches below the foul line. Over to Cortman. He'll be hit with a traveling violation. And now Caleb Murphy will check right back into the contest, replacing Josh Smith. And also in for Ramsay now will be number 14, a 6'7" senior in Gabrielle Altman. Altman checks in. And Ivory goes out.
Yeah, we got to do a little something about the energy coming from both squads. Even the transition has been slow. Guys just kind of half running up and down the court.
Corey Crosby is also in, 6'5" for Ramsay. Steal knocked away by Devion Smith. Devion pushing. They don't have the numbers. He shovels it off the lane. Who scores? Tenare Lane with his second field goal. The Winthrop commit.
Great play by Devion, who was probably the only one that's playing with a little bit of injury out here today and pushing the ball. There we go.
Cortman gets the steal. He has Devion running with him all the way, and a foul call. And the foul will be on Altman. That'll be his first, team second. Devion Smith, the Mississippi State commit, a little slow to get up. We take a look at our SUV TV instant replay as Cortman got it up ahead to Devion. No layups from Cosby.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard foul.
Grayson coming in at 75 points per game offensively, 56.2 points per game defensively. And they are a very impressive, and Dave, you could correct me if I'm wrong or have another way of putting it, they are 3-0 this season in 1-point games.
That means maybe they know how to win games when it gets tough.
I used to love the stat, winning games 3 points or less a lot means something, but a team that continues to win close games is a team I do not want to play when it's really winning time. And 2 of those 3 have came in their region. They won last night, as I mentioned, over Shiloh 68-67. Then they defeated earlier in the year Archer 51-50. And then they defeated Milton, which was right here on SUV TV, 81-80. And, you know, Milton is a high-rising team in Georgia's 7A.
Absolutely. And it's also an attribute, or, you know, it also has a lot to do with coaching. So coaching is a big piece. So that says a lot about our guy on the bench over there, Grayson.
10 on the shot clock as Grayson swings it around the horn to Cortman. Down to 7. Lane steps in, topside 3. In and out. Rebound, Kelly underneath. He recovers it. It goes out of bounds, and it will go to Ramsay.
Grayson doing a great job on the offensive boards today, and long rebounds so far in this first quarter.
Yeah, you know, Grayson's a real battle-tested team. They've had a really tough schedule, but, I mean, they've came out on top pretty much every game except for that one. And, you know, what I like about their players is that they just don't shy away from the competition. They play hard every game.
Off the window, no. And I will say this, in that one loss, it's almost like it's not even there. It was a 4-point overtime loss to Newton. Next time they played them, they beat them by 47. So it's almost like it wasn't there. Coming up on a minute to go in the first quarter, Caden MacArthur into the contest.
We know that Newton wishes it wasn't there. not the 47-pointer.
Fading is Murphy scoring. Going to South Florida, Caleb Murphy, in a familiar gym, spent his first 3 years at Norcross.
And I really love that kid's game. I mean, I feel like out of all the guys on that team, to me, he has the best potential to really excel in college because he's good on both ends of the floor. He plays great defense, and he's a great offensive player as well.
Yeah, it takes pride in defense, and one of the great things about him is his ability, you know, the athletic ability to stay in front of guys that are smaller and more athletic.
Pump fake, took contact, and was fouled. I've always seen him play with a poise and a calm nature. I rarely see him force anything this year or in previous years. As you take a look at the replay, the pump fake get him off the ground, and the foul was on Crosby.
Yeah, and he's a real unselfish kid. I mean, if you look at him, he kind of looks to pass first every time. He takes a shot when it's open, but he doesn't really force anything.
He just makes basketball plays, and, you know, he impacts the game without scoring in so many ways, and then you look up and he's got 19, 20 points.
Yep. And, you know, sometimes that's hard to do when you're guarding the best person on the court every game.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
Proof positive was his performance against Sharif Cooper here. back in December during the Hawks tourney. He was just he was a problem. I mean, he changed the outcome of the game on both ends of the floor.
Yep.
And embraced it and led them in scoring on the same night. Which, you know, I hate to put emphasis on that, but you have to as the way basketball is gone. And, you know, to guard the best player and then to lead the team in scoring, you know, is something that is very good. Free throws now coming for KJ Jackson. The foul was on Caleb Murphy. Jackson's first free throw rims in and comes out.
We're not seeing a lot from Ramsay at all right now. I'm hoping that their play picks up. They're in the game, and obviously they're not out of it. It's just 12-10, but they need to, you know, sort of make the adjustment. I don't know if it's to just get off the bus effect or not. But
we are at the end of the first quarter, and Grayson has a 12-9 lead. They finally jumped out in front here at the 2020 Peachtree Corners Invitational on SUV TV. Welcome back inside the House of Blue as we start the second quarter. Grayson leading Ramsay 12-10. Grayson out of Georgia, Ramsay out of Alabama, and the shot is no good, coming off by Murphy, and Murphy gets the rebound. So Kashawn Murphy missed. Caleb Murphy got the board. MacArthur spins it over to Josh Smith. He'll go baseline on Murphy, put it off the window, unable to get it to go, and the rebound brought down by Ivory. Oh, it just fell off, and now MacArthur gets it. We'll push it in transition. No foul call. And here's Murphy. Cortman is over there screaming for the basketball, but it's a turnover by Ivory with the steal. Here's Crosby. Crosby down the right of the lane on Smith, and it was knocked out of bounds. Good defense from Josh Smith.
Yeah, that's one that Crosby has to give up. They had a 2-on-1. Burns was right there on the left. That could have been an easy 2 points.
Well, Crosby had just in the previous play, Crosby just missed a sort of a wide open birdie there. So I guess he figured he wanted to get that one back.
Oh, foul by Devion Smith. And I can tell now that Coach Pierce is going to try and play minutes. He and Murphy having a conversation on the bench. But he may be noticing some energy or some legs or lack thereof from his team. Inbound into the corner to Michael Brown. Brown floats in a jump, no good. Rebound off of Devion Smith. 25 remaining, and they'll get a new clock at 30. 7:08 remaining. Grayson currently riding a 13-game winning streak. Jumper is no good. Smith gets the board, long outlet. Here comes Devion Smith. Devion slam dunk with the right hand on the break. Devion Smith going to Mississippi State.
He's a heck of an athlete, man. I really enjoy watching him play because he has a motor out of this world.
Motor out of this world, and I think jet fuel in his ankles. Stop Crosby. Now here's Ivory. Ivory back to Crosby, worked on by Shefflin. Attacks, puts it off the window and scores. A nice move from Corey Crosby.
Yeah, they needed that basket just to remember that they were still in the game.
That is true. They do look disjointed offensively. Murphy up ahead. Burns steps into a wing triple. It's badly missed. Crosby on the glass could not get the bunny to go. Rebound off to Tanari Lane. Lane skips it up ahead to Josh Smith. Josh goes behind the back, now spins it to the left, and a turnover. one thing I'm going to say about Josh Smith, he's not averaging double figures in anything. He's about 7 points a game, 6 boards, 3 assists, stat sheet stuffing things, quality starter for Josh Smith as a senior.
Yeah, he's like the glue guy.
Yeah, well, and he's a glue guy because he's got some real animals. So he has to fit in where he could. I suspect if he were in another situation, maybe on another team, we would see those double doubles and him being a lot.
Oh, beautiful ball fake in the open floor by Devion Smith.
And the left-hand finish.
Indeed. On the 3-on-1. Here's a move by Jackson, now to Murphy. Top side 3, hill of the rim, no. Rebound, Devion Smith. He's going to run it again. He's got Lane up ahead, but he didn't give it to him. He's going to attack and float it up. Devion Smith warming to the task now, and it forces a Ramsay timeout with 5:36 to go, their first timeout. I know we're going to queue up the SUV TV instant replay. Here comes Devion Smith. Look at this. It's 3-on-1. I see you, but I'm going to take it anyway and float it with the right hand. He has 6 points in this quarter. He has 10 in the game. All 6 of the Grayson Ram points in this quarter, and it causes a timeout. It's 18-12, the largest lead all. See ball, fake ball, lay ball.
And all because he set that up on the previous play when he turned the big kid, the 6'9"er, Murphy, turned him. And so he didn't want to get burned on this next play and went the other direction. Great decision making there.
We call that the B-roll package. All 6 of the points right there. You saw it during that timeout on Peachtree Corners Invitational instant replay.
Only on SUV TV.
Only.
Right.
He got up so high on that dunk, though.
Man, did he. And you mentioned it. He's the one that has displayed some energy, and now it's really bled over here in this second quarter. 3 ball badly missed. Ramsay is cold. Here's Smith running again. Hesitates left of the lane. Poor decision on the pass. Long lead pass out to Crosby. They're chasing him down. Crosby dunks it home. So Crosby down with 4 points.
Caleb back in the mix now.
Jalen Oglesby, a 6'3 sophomore, getting some burn right now off of Coach Joffrey Pierce's bench. So you can see him kind of playing spot duty with some guys, maybe with legs. Zone defense now, right into the middle of Murphy. Elbow, turning, jumper, sidearm, no. Shefflin tipped it to Lane. Lane going to attack, to contact, no call. Rebound comes off to Ivory. Skip pass up ahead to Jackson. Jackson now turns and gives it to Johnson. Johnson worked on defensively by Oglesby. And Ramsay will set it up, 20 on the timer. Here's a drive down the lane. Jackson, get that shot out of here. Oh, a beatdown block by Oglesby off the bench. Lane running in transition, up and a foul, and it will be on Keshawn Murphy. Way to inject yourself into the contest, Jalen Oglesby.
I would have liked to see him kick that out to the corner, though. That was a wide open 3 waiting on him. He kind of took it in on the trees and got it blocked.
Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes kids decide to contest 3 people when you can pull up and you can kick the ball, but
especially when those 3 people have about 10 inches on you.
Tenari Lane, 16 points per game, 6.4 boards, and 2 steals. Made that first free throw. Has 1 more coming, is good. He has 6 points on the contest.
Yeah, that's a guy who really worked on his jump shot over the years. He really wasn't as dead-eye as he is now. I mean, now you can't even leave a kid open.
And it's that smooth, feathery lefty touch. Ramsay operating in the forecourt.
Ramsay forgetting that they have a 30-second clock.
They do. Under 10. Gives it to Crosby. He's got to go with 5. Now to Murphy. Murphy stops, 16-footer. It is short. It rolled off. Rebound by Oglesby. He gives it over to Devion Smith. So quality minutes off of the bench right now for Jalen Oglesby. He has it, and they play pitch and catch with Devion Smith. Over to Caleb Murphy. Murphy now had Jackson getting his chops and forced the turnover.
I like to see, on Ramsay, I like to see Murphy kind of get down low in the paint some. He's taking nothing but jump shots, nothing but 3-pointers, and he has a size advantage now. The guy's 6'9", get down there in the post and
or he can work in that 15-17 range in the middle of the floor, where he causes a problem. Because if you dump the ball into him, someone's got to come out for him.
Yeah, he's just kind of missing every shot he's taking, though, and they're pretty bad.
Right.
I would like to see that because I think Shefflin can really hang with him. Floater is good right down the lane by Calvin Burns, his second field goal.
I like Burns' aggressiveness. You know, he's going to have to pick it up for them to be in this game.
Corner three. Oh, Jalen Oglesby being effective and efficient off of the bench cans a corner three. It was a 4-point game before that. This is the largest lead now, 23-16 at 7 points. So as disjointed, clunky, no fluidity to the Ramsay offense, they're still within striking distance.
I'm not so sure I agree with that last call. Looked like he put the ball through his legs pretty cleanly. Called a traveling on him.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go, Smith is between the rings. Picked up the dribble, now goes to Lane. Comes out, has a 5 count on him. Shefflin is lurking around there. Oglesby another 3, no good. Rebound comes off and the pass was tipped. Tried to make the outlet pass. Burns tipped out of bounds by Murphy with 2:51 remaining and 27 on the shot clock.
And just what we were talking about in the previous play, they put Caleb in the middle of the floor to try to operate.
He's versatile like that where you can put him in different spots whenever you need him.
Yeah, if you run that 3-2, though, and you put him in the middle, it's going to be hard to get those passes out there.
Burns jumper good. So now Calvin Burns trying to get the spark plug going for Ramsay. Cuts it to 5, 2.5 remaining in this second quarter.
Yeah, Burns been very aggressive for them.
Shefflin has been quiet for Grayson, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. 3 from Lane is no good. Crosby snatches down the board. Ian Shefflin has been so effective for Grayson this season in so many ways, has even posted a triple-double.
Yeah, I really like that kid's game. He doesn't stop either. This game he's been a little tentative. No, Ian Shefflin.
Oh, Shefflin, yeah.
Yeah, in this game he's been a little tentative, but usually he kind of attacks the glass hard. And, you know, I haven't seen him try to throw him a oop. He kind of seems like he gets one every game.
Right. Well, he's been, you know, he's been a key part of their success this year.
Free throw is good from Burns. Ian Shefflin, 10 points, 9.7 boards, 2.7 blocks. But the thing I like about it is if he starts cooking with that 14 to 17 footer, it opens up everything else for Grayson and causes mass problems for defenses.
Yeah. And, you know, and Grayson has the benefit of having really a solid 5. You know, some schools in the high school level, and, you know, maybe 2 kids that are difference makers. They have 5 kids that can flat out play.
Yeah. And you can't leave anybody open at all.
Murphy drives and scores with the right hand. Caleb Murphy now with 6.
Tough move, nice stretch. Right hand finish.
3 ball, no good. Tip, they fight for it and comes off to Devion Smith. Devion will push it in transition. Now he's bumped. Goes to the left of the lane, shovels it to Tanari. He gets to the elbow, jumper, rolls off, no board, tipped and kept alive. So Caleb sets and passes it off to Smith, who attacks and does not score, and he's fouled. Unselfish basketball. You mentioned it earlier, Raheem, about Caleb Murphy.
Yeah, very unselfish player, man. You know, he could have took that 3. He had 3 seconds to shoot it, but he passed it over and got his teammate a better shot.
Well, and I'm glad he didn't because Raheem, he's been a little flat today, and so that was a good pass. And Devion, you know, what was a great play about that is that he really forced the guy to foul him.
Yeah.
With his attack. So,
you know, when you look at these Ramsay guys, though, it looks like all of their guards are built like running backs. You know, you can tell they work on their bodies a lot, and I can appreciate that for a high school kid.
Yeah, they have 5 football players.
Well, I was going to say, I bet if we pulled their football roster, quite a few of those guys will be on it.
Coach Johnson attributed to once he got them back, because Ramsay went deep in the 7A playoffs. He got them back in early December.
Mm-hmm.
He attributed to that's when their chemistry started clicking. They're riding a 9-game winning streak right now, and a lot of that is because the cohesion has came together with the addition of the football players. Keyshawn Johnson, one of them, but has the offer in basketball from Alabama A&M.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I know that they're from Alabama, but they're wearing, you know, Kentucky uniforms. I don't know how hard that is going over.
Final 50 seconds. Lane dumps it over. Cortman, corner 3 on the way. Q, no. A putback jam from Devion Smith with the left hand. He has had himself a splendid second quarter.
Oh, my God. He's turning into, if he wasn't already, the highlight package.
Yes, sir. What the young guys say, on his head.
On the drive, Burns put it up.
With his left hand.
Yes, with his left hand.
That's impressive.
Take a look at our Peachtree Corners Invitational instant replay. Cortman was open. He hasn't gotten a touch now. But watch, wait. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Devion Smith.
Oh, my God.
It seemed like time stopped for like 3 seconds for that dunk, though.
He hung and waited for the ball.
Yeah, he did.
Final 15 seconds. It always seems like he's going to do something, and next year we'll get to see how that transitions over in Starkville, Mississippi when he joins the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Final 3 seconds. Smith pulls the 3. Hill of the rim, no. Rebound comes down to Murphy, his 6th, and we are at the end of the first half. It is 29-20, although I believe it's 29-19, but I'll check that at the half. Grayson with the lead from the Peachtree Corners Invitational.
With SUV TV at the CP3 Rising Stars campus.
SUV TV's 2019 NBA Draft Day coverage.
Anthony Edwards Collegiate Decision presented by the Georgia Hoop Circle on SUV TV.
SUV TV brings the game to the audience.
You give a better focus on the actual game at hand. Sometimes you could tell it's just a running camera by itself sitting there, but with SUV TV, it's more of a personal experience.
Just the exposure, being able to see games that you normally wouldn't be able to see, not only here locally, but across the country.
Those angles make you pick up different things as a coach, as an evaluator. They're giving you great quality, nobody talking in the background. I think it brings basketball to the forefront.
Whether it's a family member was in a different state, they can watch the game, or just bringing in more coverage for these players, or if it just allows us to raise more money for something like Susan G. Komen. And so I think this event has grown because you guys have been a part of it the whole entire time.
SUV TV has given a different light to kids that don't always get the best exposure.
The commentary that goes along with the games, I think, is always interesting.
Touchdown.
Oh!
Yes, sir. It brings something to the table that no other streaming aspect can bring, no matter how hard they try right now.
Devion Williamson
at the buzzer.
That is how you get the Peachtree Corners Invitational started. And that will do it. Thanks for joining us.
You are anything but ordinary. You have your own path and your own potential to realize. At Augusta University, the advantages created by our diversity in thought, culture, and collaboration give you and us infinite opportunity. Together, we're changing our community, our campus, and our world. We are boundless. We are Augusta University.
The 360, he throws it down.
He'll come off the double screen to the left. Oh, and wide open underneath.
Sexton goes step back, fadeaway three. Oh my goodness! Colin Sexton!
In the lane by Tracy. Here's Williamson making his way around one Titan. Now hustling in toward the lane and throws it down. That's what the crowd had been waiting on. A fantastic dunk coming in by Williamson. Trent, off balance jumper.
Nailed it. Pierre to Gary Trent Jr. And oh my goodness, that's how you end the game, folks.
Joe Hilsman, Dave Dickerson, and Raheem Bridgeforth back with you here from the House of Blue. 29-20. Grayson has a 9-point lead on Ramsay. And Raheem, I'll start with you. First half thoughts.
I'm going to have to say that, I kind of came into this game feeling like Grayson was going to win, and my thoughts haven't changed. I thought I'd see a little more from Caleb Murphy, but Devion Smith has kind of taken over the game, kind of been electric, really rebounding the ball well, kind of attacking the rim well, and, if he continues to do that, this may be a pretty bad game.
Dave, your first half thoughts.
I like the fact that the guys got started a little more there at the end of the second quarter. Saw a few things from Ramsay. I mean, Ramsay's certainly not out of the mix here, but Grayson was getting started. So looking for a little bit more energized play from both halves, both sides of the coin here, and we should have a good second half. Go ahead, yeah, just to get a contested game.
Grayson now in possession, moving right to left as you view it. We are in our SUV TV perch. It is Josh Smith, Devion Smith, Ian Scheffler, Tenari Lane, and Caleb Murphy, the five that started for. Murphy goes dunking down the baseline for the Grayson Rams.
I think Caleb just set the tone for the second half.
Yeah, I think I'd like to take credit for that one. I think I spoke that one up.
Nothing wrong with that. It is Burns, Johnson, Kashawn Murphy, and Cameron Ivory. As Burns continues his solid play, he's in double figures now with that leg.
Very quietly, he's setting the tone for them as well. You're gonna have to watch him.
Yeah, he's been the one consistent piece for them. He continues to attack. He's really in rhythm. He's not forcing anything either.
Jackson is also the fifth player on the floor that starts this third quarter. So both teams with their starters. A steal by Ivory, and he gets it up ahead now, and here's Burns. Burns on the attack. It goes out of bounds off of Devion Smith. And just a note, game being played with a 30-second shot clock. So lovely. So lovely.
You want to say that a little louder for
hey, I'm going to say this. They're coming around. So I continue to come around.
Yeah, I like to see this in every game.
I like to see it in all the high school, period. Topside three, Jackson, no good. Johnson, board Murphy. Here's Johnson, line on the lane, layup good. So Kashawn Johnson, his first field goal. 7 rebounds now for Kashawn Murphy. Seven-point lead for the Rams of Grayson. Jumper is good from Devion Smith. The improved jumper, Devion Smith now with 16 points in the contest.
Wow, that's a quiet 16.
Yeah, Devion was actually asking for a foul on that.
Devion right at his average, 16.6 points per game, 8 boards, 8 assists, 3.5 steals, doing it all this season for the Grayson Rams.
And that turnover there, that's really caused by, these kids nowadays doing those step backs. Those step backs make you feel like you can step back and pass the ball also, but that created a travel.
It's almost like jumping to pass.
Yep.
Leaving your feet to pass. Here's Smith into the forecourt, picked up by Burns, gets the screen from Murphy and the switch out. Jackson on him. Back to Murphy. Murphy a quick move, got to the foul line, leans in, puts it up, and could not get the roll. They fight for the board, another one. Number 8 now for Murphy. Lead pass up ahead to Burns. He shovels it back. And a foul. That'll be on Scheffler, his second.
Scheffler not as active in the first quarter as we usually see him. I don't know if some of his plays been nullified, or just not getting the ball, but I'd like to see him get a little bit more involved.
Yeah, I've always felt sometime if you get him going early, then he's going to be effective in the entire contest. But of late, he's had some slow starts, and I use air quotes with slow, but then came on with big buckets in timely manners. So he's developed that portion of the game in just the junior. Jumper is good from Kashawn Murphy. A quiet day so far, only 4 points right there of that jump for Murphy.
Yeah, that's an impressive jump shot. That's something he wasn't doing in the first half. He wasn't making that, so that might, ignite his fire some.
Scheffler steps out, jumper, or a 3, no good. Rebound comes off to Johnson. Johnson up ahead to Murphy. Murphy surveys to Jackson. Jackson down the lane to Murphy, who's
good
cutting.
pass.
Up and in good. Yeah, beautiful sharing and caring right there, Johnson and Murphy.
And that might have been their most impressive play of the game.
Cuts the lead to 5. Shefflin catches. Quick to Smith. Good ball movement. Lane in the corner of 3. No. Rebound. Hit the underneath of the board and comes away with it is Jackson. They've got numbers if they go. 3 on 2. Up ahead. Johnson. Wing 3. No. Board. Put back Jackson. Good. And I just don't agree with this timeout. Breaking your own momentum.
That's unusual. But he must have seen something that was troubling to him. You know, and I would like to see, Grayson, Raheem, Grayson is just, they're getting really good looks and good shots. They're just not going down right now. And so.
Beautiful play.
That
Jackson.
activity, on the replay.
I said Johnson, but it was Jackson with the assist. I just have never understood that, Dave. You got the momentum, man. You call a timeout. I actually see it more often than not. It's not uncommon to see a timeout off of a make, but sometimes when you're struggling and you get some rhythm going, I'm not going to call the timeout off of the make. Excuse me.
I think Coach was prepared to call that timeout, and then the guys kind of went on a little run, and he still wanted it for some reason, but
they showed they
we'll
could
find
work
out.
through it. They have 3 timeouts remaining, and they're all a full timeout. Smith goes baseline. Smith on the reverse. Count it. And the foul. Josh Smith and 1.
Excellent move by Josh. We'll catch the replay here on SUTV. Nice dump down by Shefflin. Look at that. Baseline. And then he uses the basket as protection.
It was that left hand that was on his back. Yeah.
Great move.
Cannot complete the 3-point play. First trip to the line and misses that free throw. 4:05 and a moving clock. Murphy
nice
kept it alive, and jumper no good, and he was fouled, and will go to the free throw line. I want to go back to Raheem's point, though. With Murphy, we saw him missing the jumper. Now he's kind of hobbling just a little bit. Remember, he missed 4 games with the ankle. And that could have an effect on why he's not down on the low block. But in a game earlier this year against Pebblebrook, he spent all of his time out there spraying jumpers.
Yeah, he looks like he has a pretty decent jump shot. It's just, when I see kids that have that size advantage, it kind of just makes me feel crazy when they don't use it, You're bigger than everybody out there. Get down there and make it easy on yourself.
Sometimes it needs to be taught sometimes.
Well, I notice he's hobbling a little bit on that.
Yeah.
And then as a 6'9", oftentimes kids that age, they grow extremely fast. And so they're not even quite sure of their own athleticism, at that juncture. But he's struggling a little bit, and I can't tell from here whether he's got the ankle taped or not. In fact, it looks like it isn't.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. If I'm going to tape one, I tape them both, so I don't want to tip off anybody. That's my old school trick. Inbound to Devion Smith, gets the screen from Shefflin, but he's picked up his dribble. Now he gives it to Josh Smith, who drives into the corner, open lane, a 3. It is off. Shefflin with the board and dunks it home. Ian Shefflin with the offensive rebound and stick-back dunk, his first field goal.
And if you just look at the last 3 possessions alone, Ian Shefflin has really done some good work. Like, what they were doing is kind of setting him up at the top and using him as the post-entry pass. So that was, pretty good. And then him to get the rebound and slam it back, you can appreciate that kind of play.
10 on the timer now for Burns, who goes to Murphy. Pass was tipped out of bounds. 5 on the shot clock. Substitution now for Ramsay as they go to the bench, and coming in is Cameron Ivory, the 6'2 junior. And taking a seat will be Calvin Burns. 5 on the shot clock. 3:07 on the game clock. Here's Jackson. Jackson goes, gets below the foul line, dumps it off to Crosby. No, out of bounds, and it'll be to Ramsay, but I think that'll be a shot clock violation. It did not hit the rim.
Excellent job by Grayson taking away that baseline.
Crosby's arguing that he did. Nice job by Crosby lobbying. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I did a great job taking that baseline away, which is young players, what you have to do when guys come underneath. You can actually take your foot and step it out of bounds to force those guys not to be able to get underneath the basket. As Murphy was a steal here.
And the foul given by Devion Smith. Well, Dave Dickerson breaking out the old school tricks on baseline defense.
Yeah, one of the first things you learn, especially after you get burned a couple times.
I love it, man. Raheem Bridgeforth, Dave Dickerson, Joe Hillsman, glad that you are with us. 5-point game, Grayson with the lead. Murphy's at the free throw line, 2:46 to go in this third quarter. And that's his first miss. He's 2 of 3 on the day. Deep into the bench now, Brandon Nixon, a 6'3" sophomore, making his first appearance for Ramsay. Free throw good, he split them. 4-point contest. Ramsay has kept it, though, within striking distance.
Absolutely.
You may not feel like it's a lot of momentum or juice, but the game right now is contested. Here is Smith. Gets the screen from Shefflin. Keeps the dribble alive. Down the right of the lane. Put it up through contact and could not get it to go. He'll go to the free throw line.
That had gone down.
Yeah, when you look at the replay, though, he uses that hezzy with that, only with that right hand. You kind of think he's going right to left, but he doesn't. He goes strong to the rim.
He's 4 of 4 from the free throw line today. The first one in the air and good.
And it just rolled off. He is a player. He is absolutely a player.
Yeah, he's a guy I feel like is going to transition well in college as well.
Split him. He has 17 points in the contest. It's a 5-point advantage for Grayson. Jackson does not use the screen. Now he goes to the top and they send it to Ivory. Ivory over in the corner to a young Nixon. Nixon pulls, no good. Shefflin gets the board. Shefflin having an effective third quarter. Smith running. Out to Josh Smith for 3. Good. Devion Smith with the share and the care assist. Josh Smith bangs home the 3.
Great move, crossover, probe, kicked it out after he drew the defenders. Love that.
The second three-pointer hit from Grayson today. Jalen Oglesby, who gave Coach Joffrey Pierce valuable minutes, hit the other 3 back in the second quarter. Under 2 minutes, third quarter, 8-point advantage now for Grayson as they operate on offense. Lane has it and spins it back to the top. Gets it into Murphy. Over to Smith. Right wing 3 again in rhythm. No. Shefflin offensive rebound. A second chance opportunity. So Caleb Murphy, tricky dribbles and pulls it back between the rings.
I don't think I've seen Smith struggle like that this year with a shot. Nothing going down. All good looks. Just nothing going down for him.
Shefflin, another board, turns, fades, and scores his second field goal, both of them coming directly off of offensive rebounds, and the lead is 10 now, 43-33.
And that was a grown man move. Had his back to the basket, hit him with a fake, turnaround jump shot.
Raheem, you talked him up. He's gotten fire here this second half, and is really active. Great steal there by Murphy, his last play.
As you see, the timeout was given to Ramsay before the over and back and the steal, so they now have 2 timeouts remaining. It is a full timeout. It's currently a 6-0 run for Grayson to extend the lead out to 10.
They may want that surge timeout back that Coach called a few minutes ago.
Looking inside the Ramsay huddle, Coach Denton Johnson there in the white shirt. I mentioned this is his 4th year. He's 66-45. Went to the Final Four last year in 5A and was in the state playoffs his first year. He's gradually increased the program, 12 wins, 16 wins, 19 wins. Now he's at 19 now. So once he wins the next game, it'll be a win improvement each of his first 4 years.
Yeah, impressive, particularly in a situation where you mentioned before a lot of football players, which means, you don't get, maybe the kids in the gym for the development time that you might have in another situation. We had dedicated and exclusive basketball players.
Yeah, and then when you just look at your return on investment, I mean, if you got a guy that's increasing the win percentage every year, I mean, what more can you ask for? That means that was a good hire.
Absolutely.
And Alabama basketball is coming along. You have your Mountain Brook, you have your Hoover. Lee, of course, as we know, nationally ranked and very good. I've seen them in person this year here in Georgia in an event. So Alabama trying to put some blips on the map with the basketball.
Yeah, and those are areas too. You know, Hoover, for example, you know, is basically a suburb of Birmingham. And those are areas where there's always been really good basketball. You know, now you get the concentration of, and we already know about their football scenarios, but you get the concentration of a good year-round program, and you have something.
Yeah, and what it's doing is it's causing a lot of attention to the area. You know, what I've heard is that it's been pretty hard for those Alabama schools to kind of keep that talent in state. So, you know, when you have all of these good programs, then you start to have schools from everywhere trying to get them.
And Ramsay has played a solid schedule. One of their 6 losses to Mountain Brook. I've seen in person this year. Inside to Kelly. Taj Kelly goes up, no, and the board comes off to Keyshawn Murphy. Up to Jackson, who pushes. Jackson in the corner, open 3. Johnson, nope, indecisive, traveling.
Yeah, I know he wants that one back.
Yeah, you got to be ready to shoot that.
9 out of 10 travels are because of indecision. Final 24 seconds in this third quarter. A 10-point Grayson lead. They're currently on a little 6-0 run. Caden MacArthur, a 3-ball, heel of the rim, no. Smith, board, put it on the floor, power dribble, stripped away. That's usually what happens. Now here comes Jackson. Jackson lost it off his knee, out of bounds.
Out of bounds, ball to Grayson.
Josh was in a situation there, Dave, where he should have just went straight right back up with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That extra dribble.
Coach Pierce got a couple other players in the game.
Steal, 3, no. It does not become costly. So it's a 6-0 run in the third quarter for the Grayson Rams. They have their largest lead of the day, 43-33. As you take a look at our SUV TV instant replay, we'll return in just a moment on the Peachtree Corners Invitational. The fourth quarter is underway. Ramsay trailing by 10, 43-33. And the foul called on the floor on Caleb Murphy, Joel Hilsman, Dave Dickerson, and Raheem Bridgeforth in our SUV TV perch. At the House of Blue in Norcross, game number 3 of 4 from the Peachtree Corners Invitational. The nightcap will be the host Norcross Blue Devils and Cardinal Newman out of South Carolina. Right now we've got business to handle here as Calvin Burns is worked on defensively by Murphy. He drives below the foul line, put it up, counted, and the foul for Calvin Burns. And you mentioned his aggressiveness nature early in the contest, Dave, and he's continued to hold that true.
Absolutely, and this is against Caleb Murphy, who, as you know, we talked about as a great defender. Nice move, crossover.
Use the left hand.
Absolutely.
So Burns at the free throw line and completes the three-point play, Calvin Burns.
He's shot some really nice little runners and pulls up, has gotten himself in the lane all game.
He has 13 in the contest.
To rush that shot.
Boy, missed him.
Three ball banged in by Keyshawn Johnson.
Just that quickly, ball game has changed.
Right back to 4. It was 37-33, and then that little push from Grayson to end the third, and now here the opening minute, a 6-0 push from Ramsay. Down low to Kelly, who dunked it home. Tajay Kelly, his first field goal. Kelly coming in, averaging 4 boards and a block off of that bench of the Grayson Rams. Here's Murphy putting it on the floor and attacking. He tried to murder the rim. Rebound comes off now to Devion Smith. They're pushing in transition. Smith gonna go all the way, flying through the air, left it short. Kelly couldn't get the board. Smith gets it. Josh Smith, layup good. Josh Smith. Hard hat lunch pail, 7 points in the contest, right on his season average.
Yeah, Grayson's been great on the offensive boards tonight.
Burns' 3 is no good. Smith with another board. He's running it in transition. Knocked away. Good job by Calvin Burns to kick it out of bounds and stop the break. Tenari Lane will be checking in.
Yeah, and even though Murphy missed that dunk, you know, that's what I've wanted to see from him all game. I mean, he's the biggest guy out there, and he can actually handle the ball. He went aggressive to the lane and missed the dunk.
Tajay Kelly finishes the jam on our SUV TV Peachtree Corners instant replay. Campbell won game 1. Langston Hughes won game 2. So currently Georgia right now 2-0, although I shouldn't count the first one because it was an in-state battle in the Peachtree Corners Invitational. Zone defense now from Ramsay. Keonis Cortman.
But you don't count that anyway.
No, I'm not. I just was saying it so quickly, and then I forgot that they were playing an all-Georgia game there in game 1.
Number 3, Keyshawn Murphy.
So Murphy is hit with the foul.
Yeah, and I like Kelly because the big kid that's come in. They, if you noticed, as soon as he came in here, the first thing they did was they went to him. So they actually ran an inbounds play to go to him. He obviously can score the ball.
Yeah, and he's a kid that came in with a lot of energy. He hadn't really played a lot of minutes this game, and for him to come in and really attack the glass the way he is, you can really appreciate that.
Yeah. There's some depth on this Grayson team, and you can bring a kid in that didn't get a lot of time earlier. So yeah, that can do what he can do.
2 minutes gone by here, a little more than that. The thing I like about Taj Kelly, he's going to be a player that's going to make an impact in a state tournament game.
Yeah.
When you need him, and to allude to piggyback off your point, the depth. Grayson has more depth. They play a shorter rotation, but they have the ability to go a little deeper,
right,
especially in matchup. And that, I think, is what makes them highly dangerous and why you look at them nationally. You know who the starters are, but Kelly now giving you solid minutes. He's just a junior, and that's going to be great experience coming back next year. Cortman a 3, good. Keonis Cortman a topside triple.
And we were just talking about Kelly. Kelly got the ball deep and made a great pass. That resulted in a basket, so he gets the assist on that one.
Cortman coming in, averaging 6.3 points per game, and he will hit that 3. Oh, rattled it right on down the milk crate for KJ Jackson. Jackson now in double figures with 10.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off what you guys were saying, Kelly and Cortman, these are the guys that are going to be the future. They're losing 3 very impact players, so they're going to have to step it up next year. So this is good quality time for them right now.
And they've gotten great rotational minutes all season and played quality competition. Good wins, quality wins over Milton, McEachern, Shiloh twice, Wheeler, Lithonia, Mountain Brook, Memphis East, Sandy Creek, Wayne, Crestwood Prep, Archer twice, split with Newton, and defeated Berkmore.
I don't think they played a team with a losing record, have they?
Very few.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
They do have a couple of breathers in there, but still, overall, the body of work of the schedule cannot be questioned.
Yeah.
And your lone loss, as I mentioned, was a split with Newton, and we know how game number 2 went, which I think was interesting. I talked to Joffrey Pierce about that, and I said, well, were you guys mad? And he said, I went into the locker room. I said, no pregame speech. If you want to beat these guys down, meet me at the bench. And I walked out and sat at the bench for the rest of pregame.
Ooh.
And it was a beat-down dunk like that got him going. Devion Smith, another fast break jam.
Devion with more showtime.
But what can you say when your coach walks in? I got no speech. You want to beat them down, meet me at the bench, and leave.
Right.
You really have no choice now.
Here we go with the replay. Devion steps in the passing lane, grabs that.
Ooh, might have took
like
3 steps.
Yeah. But that was a nice little stretch there. 3-step or not. Just right inside the took off just right inside the foul lane.
So Keonis Cortman has warmed to the task now with a back-to-back triples. He has 6 points, and the lead now has ballooned to 17, the largest lead of the day. Cortman is going to be valuable too. He kind of puts me in the mind in his role this year. I know I'm going to use this because it's a common analogy. He's going to be a Robert Horry type come state playoff.
Yeah.
Because he can consistently hit the three and be counted on. And there's going to be a moment when you swing and leave him, and that three is going to go. Keonis Cortman, number 11. Just keep your eyes on him.
High praise. How many rings is
7, but I mean in the context of
I
a
know
timely
exactly
shot.
Sure,
Yeah, I know.
absolutely. That is high praise. So,
especially on a team like this, comes off the bench, knows his role.
And this is the perfect lineup for him to be in because you can't double team anybody.
Exactly.
So he's going to be wide open the whole game pretty much.
A junior that can shoot it, hoping his recruitment picks up a little bit. Take a look at that, and he is known. And watch how it just, right there, barely touched any of the net.
Well, Keonis, you have now been set up by the great Joel Hillsman. You got a lot of work to do, young man. No, he's played great today.
He stepped up big, averaging right at 6 points per game, a couple double-figure game. But, I talked to Coach Joffrey Pierce about him. He's like, he just does what I ask him to do, and he hits shots when we need shots to be made, and that keeps him on the floor along with his defensive effort.
Yeah, very quickly, we're at the 3:43 mark, and we have a 19-point game.
Yeah, quickly.
Very quickly.
It was 4 just a minute ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of felt like Grayson was beating themselves, though, that first half.
Yeah.
And now they're just, executing. This is the type of basketball we've seen them play all year, so we know they're capable of this.
I look over at the greatest producer in the world. We've done so much basketball together, and she has now hit cruise control for the rest of this contest. 60-41, 3:43 to go.
No, she's just showing her. That's just her poker face.
Oh, okay. That's what that is.
She's very engaged and involved in this one. Don't let him. Don't let him call you out.
Oh no, it was a good call out. It's that moment where she's produced so much basketball that we see the writing on the wall.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy.
But it happened so quick.
That was the quickest 19-point scenario that I can remember this season.
And that is not taking anything away from Ramsay, but they have seemed a step slow today.
Yeah.
We thought it would be Grayson. Oh, Kelly. Oh, way to maneuver it into the basket. Tajay Kelly.
Got that pass late and did what he had to do to get it off. Good job.
Jackson drives. It's not there. Devion Smith will push it in transition. Oh, yeah. Carrying palming violation.
Ball goes to Ramsay.
It'll be interesting now in a 20-point game, which is the largest lead. With the legs, what will Joffrey Pierce do now? Take a look at our SUV TV instant replay. Oh, what a play by Taj Kelly.
He made a great save on that.
That was a great pass, though.
Devion Smith swallows down another rebound.
Yeah, he's probably flirting with a double-double.
Quite sure. He's had a triple-double this year as well. Cortman another 3. It is short this time. Long lead pass out to Calvin Burns with a fundamental layup.
Is that their first breakaway? Seems like it might be their first breakaway.
Seems like their first fast break
in the game.
Yes.
Not just this half, but in the game.
Under 3 minutes remaining. Grayson has blown it open. It was a 10-point game at the end of the third, and then it was 43-39. Since then, 19-5.
What's impressive, though, is that they've put over 30 points, so it seems like, in this quarter.
Not quite. Sitting there at 19.
Taj Kelly just comes out for Shefflin after really putting in yeoman's work during that run.
Yeah, good stretch for Taj Kelly. First free throw from Tanari Lane is good. Lane is perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line. As I mentioned, going to Winthrop, coming in averaging 16 points, so just a little bit below his average today with 8 points. But he's been very valuable all season long for the Rams. Turnover. 2:39 remaining. Jim bustling as the host Norcross Blue Devils are coming up, and we will have that for you right here on SUV TV. And it's continuing to coverage of the Peachtree Corners Invitational. As the regular season, I hate to say it, winds down in Georgia. 2 weeks remaining. In the regular season, region tournaments will be picking up. This will be the actual last week of the regular season coming up. And then region tournament, and then you go into the state tournament. And if you're playing in March, you're playing for a state championship.
It was a quick season this year.
It always seems that way, man. It takes forever to get here and then flies by. Elbow jumper, Smith, he's fouled and will go up. And then, of course, I was in New Jersey last week. They're just a month into their season.
Right. Things start later, shorter schedules as well there. Not as many games as you get in Georgia or in, in the DMV.
25-game schedule in Georgia. Alabama has a nice little schedule allotment. This is game number 26 for Ramsay. They are tightening up as well, getting ready to end right around March. Florida ends in March. Smith's free throw is good.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx him, man, but I haven't seen him miss a free throw yet.
Oh, yes, he's missing.
Checking in for Grayson, number 1, Caden MacArthur.
He's coming out now. Did a great job today.
He's 10 of 12 from the free throw line and a 22-point advantage now.
And that's impressive for, a guy that gets to the line as much as he does.
24 points in the contest for Devion Smith, which seems to be his night is complete. Jumper from Jackson is short and comes off. Josh Smith, another board. He's played very good basketball today. Josh Smith over to Caden MacArthur, young sophomore. There's Lane, a corner three. It is off. Shefflin, another rebound, put it on the floor, kicks it back out. MacArthur, escape dribble, floats with the left and scores.
Caden MacArthur.
Caden MacArthur, his first field goal. Young sophomore who's gotten some spot duty as well and picked up experience. He'll be valuable for Grayson off the bench down the road. And now Jalen Oglesby will be coming into the contest. And he was very, very good early in the second quarter in his time as we take a look at our SUV TV instant replay. There's the escape dribble. And the lefty drops it in.
Yeah, that's one of those baskets we'll take because he didn't look like he wanted to pass that. And says, you know what, I've already jumped now, so get it out of my hands.
1:36 to go. Lead has helium going in the balloon as it expands out to 24. It was at 4 points earlier in this fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden it took off. Long three, no good. They go deep in the bench. Jalen Peterson is into the contest now. His three is no good.
Coach Pierce bringing in some other players now.
Aaron Norman, number 24, Xavier Boyd.
Getting some of the regulars out.
Boyd and Neumann back in now for the first time for Grayson, along with Oglesby and Kelly. So the starting five are done for the night.
Yeah, it looks like the fat lady has sang.
Final 75 seconds, but good experience here.
Good pass.
Inside to Kelly, who dunks it home. So Taj Kelly, a very, very good fourth quarter. He has 8 in the game and 8 in the fourth quarter.
Just changed the shot down here at the other end. Really effective today, Kelly.
Boyd couldn't get the lay in to go. And Ramsay will come back quickly under a minute.
Oh, nice change of direction.
And, of course, when you're getting these minutes, they may not seem important to the fans, but they're important to the players. Because that's that game experience.
Correction, possession goes
39 and 8/10 seconds. Jones, number 24 for Ramsay, go reaching down in the depth chart a little bit. Xavier Boyd, 24. Aaron Norman, 23. Final half minute. They blew this thing wide open here in this fourth quarter. Jones stepped back, a three. It is no good. Rebound comes down to Norman. Over to Caden MacArthur. They're across the timeline, and let's see if Coach Pierce calls them off. He will.
Yeah, great second half effort by Grayson. We talked a lot in the first half about no energy and kind of going half speed, particularly there in that first quarter. But a big third quarter, and then of course at the beginning of the fourth quarter for Grayson.
And you know they're coming off a back-to-back, you know, from having a real tough game yesterday with that 1-point win. So you never know, that could be the thing that kind of took their energy away from them. But
oh, absolutely. But you know, this is the time of the year that you really can't let off. So you're right, and we're also talking about, you know, high school kids as well. That I'm not expecting the same performance out of them as I would, you know, an NBA squad back-to-back. But you know, they have to set sort of standards if they're planning on being around through the regionals and the states. You know, you got to try to play a certain way every night.
Yep. Well, it's a 70-44 victory for the Grayson Rams. They improved to 22-1 on the season. They complete the out-of-state portion of their season at 5-0. Ramsay now falls to 19-7 as the 5A #1 team in the state of Alabama. Grayson 70, Ramsay 44. Quick numbers: Devion Smith had 24. He was the lone double-figure scorer for the Grayson Rams. Caleb Murphy, Tajay Kelly, and Tenari Lane each had 8 apiece. All right, coming up next, it'll be Norcross taking on Cardinal Newman right here on SUVTV.com. The SUVTV.com.